All right, so you've all magically done your drawing. Those of you who have not done your drawing, make sure you sketch in your drawing. And so complementary color pairings mean that when we put them next to each other, or we put one down and then we let it dry and put the other on top, they do what's called popping each other forward. So you'll see a lot of sports teams with blue and orange, purple and yellow, red and green as Christmas colors. So if this apple is red, a good base for it would be green. So we're going to start with a green base on this apple. So if you have Viridian green, you should use that. If you don't have Viridian green, shout out the greens that you do have. Go ahead and put some green.
I bought Viridian green today, so I'm thrilled.
Yay, you'll love Viridian green. It's a fantastic mixing color. You'll get everything that you want.
Hooker's green hue permanent.
That'll work. It's a little yellower.
Great.
It's a little bit yellower, so it'll make a different mix, but that'll work. Okay, and then as a reminder, oh shoot, hang on. I forgot to grab a paper towel. Hold on, I'll be right back. Whoops. Okay. As a reminder on your setup, if you can see over here, I have my brushes in my water, and then I have a rag here. It's a t-shirt actually, but you can also use a paper towel to help dry off your paintbrush, because sometimes you're going to want a drier paintbrush. So you are going to do this entire painting, almost all of it, in a very thick brush, a thick flat brush like this. So that means this is a 1-inch brush. It means that it's, let me see if I can show you. These, I've painted on them so much. This is like 1 inch across. So you're going to do almost your entire painting in a brush this wide, the widest brush that you've got. That means not this, right? This is too small. This is also going to drive you crazy. You'll see why. This is too small. This is too small and also a little bit too choppy, too thick. What happened to my skinny putty? And no pointed. And you know, we definitely don't want a pointed brush. So you want as big and flat a brush as possible. Oh wait, here we go. Here's my pointy brush. And definitely not something like this, right? This is too small. Our tendency is to want to work with small brushes, but you're going to find that your big brush gets a lot more done. And you feel like you have more control with your small brush, but we don't actually, we kind of want to relinquish a little bit of control in this thing. All right, let's see. I'm going to put this here because you can see, move this up just a little bit. All right, so you have a green. I have dipped my brush in water, and now I'm going to squeeze it so that it's wet, but it's not dripping. So that when I come and I get paint on my brush and I hold it up like this, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm holding the brush straight up and there's no water dripping, right? It's just paint. I have paint, lots of paint on my brush. And I'm going to start by painting green on the darkest areas, which is really that cloth. And then when I run out of paint, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to get some more.
But if the only red thing in our painting are apples, why are we using green as a base for everything?
You'll see.
Okay.
Because paintings always look good in layers. And a base painting in one color, let me think of how to answer that question. Like less facetiously. Because paintings always look good with layers. And when you use one color, you're really focusing on the values, right? You're spending, and the values are important. So this first value, I mean, you can totally use more than one color for a base, but at the beginning, I want you to focus on one because you can always, um, you can layer any color on top of this. It'll look good. Does that answer your question? Like, we have to do this. If you look, even on this base layer, we can still see pieces of the canvas. It's still kind of a flat look. It's still kind of flat looking. So the more paint we get on there, the better. And it's important for us to focus on our lights and darks. You'll see on this next layer what I mean by that. And actually, let me take this away so we can really see the lights and the darks. We're not distracted by the red.
Hey, Leah.
Yeah.
So I don't have a verdant green. Does a sap green work?
Sap green will work.
Okay.
Yep, sap green will work. I'll send your mom a supply list to get some of the colors that we don't already have. I've already made a Amazon wish, what do you call it? Amazon wish list that shows you all the things you could buy. You'll all be like, Jesus, you want us to spend a lot of money on painting. It's interesting. Who asked me that question about why are we putting green everywhere? Who asked that question?
Me.
Jane. So Jane, that's a really great question. I remember very early in my teaching career, a student asking me, if we're putting this down and then covering it up, why are we putting it down? And the basic reason, and you'll see as you start to layer, is that as we get another color on top of this, this is going to look really beautiful. You might
I guess
decide,
I'm just curious, like if we're doing the colors that are opposite on the color wheel,
mm-hmm.
And the cloth on which the apples sit is blue, then why is the base that we're using green?
Well, partly, well, number one, there's green in this apple as well as everything else too. So part of the apple will be reflected. I guess you could do orange here if you wanted to, you could. But it's a little simple. It's a little simpler to just stick with one color because we're going to use this one color to explore value, like a black and white painting. So it's like another way to do a base painting is to do black and white. So we could do this all in black and white, right? Then it really doesn't matter what the colors. And in fact, we will ultimately explore a black and white painting. So it helps to have one value just so that you're thinking only about the lights and darks. And it gets confusing when you add a second color in.
Does that mean that we will be using green as the base color on the apples as well? Like that same?
Yep. I'm about to show you that. You guys ready to see that? Yeah. So here we're going to actually bring in right here at this bottom area and in here, we're going to bring in more of that dark green paint. And it's okay if you kind of lose your edge here. It's okay if you lose the edge a little bit because these are very close in value to the same. If you can see down here, this is as dark as this. So we're going to start like that. Then we're going to get more water on our brush so that our brush is a little bit drippier. And I don't know if you can see here, but it's kind of, see how I'm tapping? I'm not putting any more paint on my brush. I'm letting that watery color come through. So as I get lighter to get to the medium part, I'm going to use this lighter, this more watery green, like that. And then I'm going to dip my brush again in the water, tap it out here. But see, it's like drippy and there's not a lot of paint to get this top area, the top areas of the skin. And if you feel like, oh, I want to make that just a tiny bit lighter, you can either go back in with a little bit more paint here to go darker. But you see, I'm showing a shift, or you can go in with your paper towel or your rag and kind of tap out a little bit of the color so that it's a little bit lighter. So we show the value shift. Now I'm on a tippy table here. I'm going to take a picture of this because it's a little bit hard to see the lightest values on the Zoom screen. So I'm going to take a picture and show you how this looks. So we are focused right now just on value. But Jane, it's good. I'm glad you're paying attention because that's it's a valid thing to say, I'll do this in orange if you wanted to. And very soon I'm going to give you leeway to make whatever base paintings you want. So in fact, truthfully, you could totally do it now. I mean, what am I going to do? Hi, Janet.
Hi.
And then for this lightest area, we're also going to do an even lighter wash. So I'm going to come in here and also up here and just get kind of a light wash over everything. It's also okay in acrylic and oil painting to allow your base layers to be a little bit darker. We can layer light. In fact, the darker, the better, because we can layer light colors on top. It'll be different when we go to watercolor in April. Can you see I'm just like here. There we go. And in fact, I think I want to bring this down a little bit because I think the light is reflecting a little bit. That's better. Here we go. So honestly, I could probably even go a little bit darker in here. I can make this darker. I'm not really getting into detail at this point. I'm just doing a sort of major block in, but I do want to get a little bit of color everywhere because the more color I have on my canvas, the nicer these other colors are going to look on top of it. And then once I've done this, I'm going to put it to the side. So I'll take a picture of it so you can see it. And we're going to do some practice color mixing. So I'm just going to lay it over here to let it dry. It should take about 10 minutes. Let's pull this guy up. I'm going to get a clean sheet of palette paper. If you want to, this is a good idea. If you have a little extra sheet of canvas paper that you can use for testing, this is a great place to have that up and available. I will do that for you. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it helps to have a sheet of paper, a canvas that you can kind of practice some of the techniques we're about to look at. There we go. So go ahead and send me your underpaintings. So this is what we call an underpainting. Paul, that looks good. Jane, that looks good. Ooh, Amber, what color are you using? Is that like a, wow. Is it a turquoise? It's pretty. Or is it Viridian? It's Viridian. It looks so blue. Is that how it really looks, or is it greener than I think? It's beautiful. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying.
I mean, I wouldn't
Let's
say
see.
slide-ins, but no idea.
Yeah. Addie looks great. Yeah, these look great, you guys. This looks great. Okay. Oh, Addie, you're already in WhatsApp. I can totally add you. Here, hold on. I'm going to do that now. Thanks. All right. So Addie, you're going to see, Emma, let's see. Oh, beautiful. Lovely, you guys. Aren't they kind of cool looking just at this stage? They have this kind of Picasso blocky thing. They look a little awkward too, right? Doesn't look like a finished painting, but these are all going to be beautiful when you get to them. Here, I'm going to add Addie. All right, Addie, I'm adding you onto the WhatsApp thread. Your mom already has it on her phone. So you can just open it up. Oops. There it is. I like these. These are great. All right, you guys ready to talk about color mixing? As we're looking at this. And we're going to talk about color mixing and we're going to talk about blending. So if you have a palette knife, this is a good time to pull it out. The colors we're going to need are, if you've got cadmium red, you're definitely going to want some of that cadmium red. You might add a little bit of other reds if you've got them too. Maybe a touch of, I'm using quinacridone, which is kind of a pinky red. You're definitely going to need more.
Can we use Parole?
Sure. I would say use any, give yourself a couple of reds. Use Parole. I mean, I think cadmium red is going to be real pleasing color, but Parole will work too. I have some Viridian green here. Don't worry, I'll give you time to do this. I'm just building the palette. Notice I'm putting my paints on the top edge of my palette paper or my mixing board so that when I mix, I'm going to have, I can pull little bits down. You'll see as I start to mix, it's easier to have access to your colors. I'm just looking here to see what else we need.
Wait,
Definitely.
What was the one you just put up?
That is cadmium yellow. I'm going to label all of these and give them to you. Here, I'll label them now. Cad yellow. I'll take a picture of this too. Green, or whatever green you used for your underpainting. This is Quin red. This is Cad red. All right. It'll be helpful to have a little bit of white, whatever white you got. And of course, we will have some blue. I like to use ultramarine blue if you've got it. Sometimes when we were doing our mountains a couple weeks ago or last week or whenever it was, it feels like a million years ago, was just last week, wasn't it? We explored the difference between ultramarine and phthalo blue. Ultramarine blue is warm, phthalo blue is cool. Almost always the warm blue is helpful. I'm just looking to see if we need anything else. Don't think we need anything else. Huh. So I'll take a picture of this.
So that's ultramarine or
That's
phthalo?
ultramarine blue.
Okay.
Addie's first class, yay. Yeah, we'll totally forgive her for being a child genius. Absolutely. Yeah, don't make the grown-ups look bad, Addie. That's your main job. All right, there is your palette. The other thing we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys kind of play around with your backgrounds a bit. Once we get the apple down, you get to decide what color you want to make this and what color you want to make this. It's important that we'll have values right, but all right, everybody ready? Talk about mixing. Hi, Diana, welcome.
Hi,
Nice
thank
to see
you.
All right, if we're ready, I'll get started. Okay, so as we notice, we have the light is coming from this side, which means that, and you can see that because there's this kind of blicky white spot, these little kind of white spots here. I mean, this is from the skin, but this white spot here is indicating that the light's coming from this direction, and that as the apple turns away and down, it becomes darker. So that means that everything down here is a bit in shadow. This is a kind of darker red it's not an extreme shadow, but it's still a shadow. This is like kind of this is the darker shadow, what they call the core shadow. So when you're mixing a shadow color for your paintings, you don't go with black. You don't mix black in for your shadow. You take a little bit of the complement and mix it into your base color. So if you have a red apple, say I'm going to take a little bit of cadmium red here, very bright. And then maybe also a little bit of quin red, a little bit of the cooler red, just to give it a bit of variety here.
Is
Sort
that
of.
a very, like, the quin red I have is much brighter than the one you have.
They change. What do you have? What brand do you have?
Golden. I have both.
Golden.
in
Interesting.
Orange and quin red, but it's like nearly as bright as crim red.
Isn't that interesting? It might just be the way it looks right now on the camera. Like, so let me take a picture. Yeah, that's interesting because these are golden. Your quin red should be it could be a little brighter. It could be a little brighter. In any event, I think we've got a kind of mix of reds. And then to create the shadow, you're going to take a little bit of your green and mix it in with your red. So to mix that middle shadow, not too much green. See that? Now we have this kind of dark, beautiful, and this is a little, I'm going to bring this down a little bit to see if you can see this a little bit better. Yep, that's a little better. There's a little bit of light reflecting on this, so it's a little tough to see. I'll take a picture so you can see it better. But you see, as I add more green to it, I get this beautiful dark red, kind of shaded red. It's neutralized. What you're really doing is graying it a little bit. Let me take a picture of this so you can see it. So this is cad red plus quin red plus green. So when we're mixing, and we always like to start with our shadows because our shadows are the brightest. And then you'll notice that as we shift from one to the other, there isn't a really strong line, right? There's a transition that happens, but it's very subtle. So that is what we call a soft edge. So let me show you how to practice that. So go ahead and practice mixing this kind of rich red with the green in it. Be careful not to use too much green. The green can overwhelm. So take little bits of green. You want this to be mostly red, right? With green. I'm going to grab a little bit more. Notice my brush is dry. As I hold it up, I mostly have just paint kind of loaded on it. And I'm going to put some paint. I want a lot more than that. I'm going to put some paint here. And now I'm going to clean my brush out, squeeze it. I just dipped it in the water. I'm squeezing it out, and I'm going to take some of just my red, my two reds, and I'm going to put them next to each other like this, right? So that this looks lighter and that looks a little bit darker. So start by doing that.
Wait, how did you get the second red?
I just mixed the two reds together. So your base is cad red and quin red, or a warm red and a cool red, or you could just stay with one red if you want to. You can just be cad red if you want to. If it's complicated,
I've got Allison Crimson. Is that okay?
It's pretty dark. You want a lighter
Yeah.
red.
Well, Parole. I can use Parole.
Use Parole. You can put a touch of crimson in it. So look in here, you'll see that this red, it's such a beautiful color, isn't it? This sort of deep, rich burgundy. It's amazing to think that the green and the red make this beautiful color. So this is your shadow, and you just add more green to make it darker. And this is your light. This is your sort of light. apple color. Maybe even there's a little yellow in your light apple color to make it a little bit lighter. You don't have to do that yet though. I'm just messing around right now. And once you've got that, you'll notice that this is what we call a hard edge. That means that there's a very strong line between this red and that red. I can see a distinct separation, right? There's this strong, hard line. Now, in some cases, it's going to be important to have a hard edge. You don't want any red here bleeding out into your background color, right? Or the edge of this apple where this apple meets the background. But within the apple, you're going to want something that's called a softer edge. So to make a softer edge, let's see if I can do this. Both sides have to be wet. I'm going to start pulling. I'm going to take a little bit of light color on my brush. I'm going to start brushing it into the dark. See how I'm going horizontally? See how I'm kind of tapping? And then see now how all of a sudden I have a transition that's not so strong. So just to show you that again, I'm going to make some shadow color with the two reds and green. I'm going to show you the difference, right? This is a hard edge. And now, cleaning my brush off. Here, so that's a hard edge. See the difference? You can totally see the difference, right? Here, strong line between your light and your dark. And then to get rid of that hard edge, I go horizontally, kind of tapping away and brushing into the dark. So practice that. And if this is hard, you think this is hard, that's okay. This is actually #1 brush. We'll practice this in acrylic basics. We're going to practice this with every painting we make. There are soft edges and hard edges. And making the soft edge it's like if there's, I don't know how many of you knit, you know, there's basically two. I didn't get rid of my, there's two stitches in knitting. There's knitting and there's purling. This is knitting, the other one is purling. So knowing how to make hard edges and knowing how to make soft edges with your brush is the wax on, wax off stroke in painting. Let's see. So Paul, I see a hard edge there.
Oh, I didn't start the edges yet.
Okay, great. That looks good. That looks pretty good.
For the pit, just the colors themselves.
Yep, they look pretty good. You could add a little bit of alizarin with your green into your shadow if you want to make it a little bit darker red. You could add, so along with your purple and your green, you could add a touch. Oh, nice, Emma, not bad. Although I can still see, getting there, I can still see a bit of your line here. So try and tap that out. So I can't see that line. It's more of a blend. Do a little bit more tapping, but good mixing, beautiful. And let me take a picture of this so you guys can see it. Soft edge, that's what this is, the soft edge. So we're practicing soft edges. Now I know there's kind of green in this apple, so we're going to blend that. I'm going to show you how to blend that in later, but we're going to start with this red. Yeah, printer paper will make you crazy, Jane. You know what I would do? I would give yourself one canvas sheet and then just keep gessoing it out, covering it over in between. You can use.
When I got the canvas sheets, they're like canvas cardboards, and there's only 12 of them.
I got you. You don't want to waste your. Yep, you got it. Try, or you can try doing it on your palette paper. Try doing it right
Oh,
on the
yeah.
palette paper. You'll just go a little bit crazy with the printer. And Jane, what I'm missing is a little bit of your light. I see it sort of, but I feel like I could use a better, I'd like to see more of a distinction between your lighter and your darker shade. So if you could go a little bit lighter. It's kind of fun, isn't it, you guys? I actually love how like there's a whole language to painting that's not obvious unless you get taught it. Learning to paint to me feels and draw to me feels a little bit like learning to read. We all can learn to do it, but I don't think nobody's really learned. Nobody's really good at it, you know, now. I mean, you might be good at it, but like we all have to do the same kind of work to learn the new system. It's a new way of thinking. I have a few drips in my underpainting that kind of pulled off. I think that looks really awesome. Some people don't like drips. So go ahead when you're ready. So send me your mixes when you're ready. I don't want to go too fast. So I don't want to rush this. So you guys tell me when you're ready to go to the next step. Let's see. Paul, not bad. Addie, not bad. I want you to use a little bit more green in your red, Addie. Nice. There we go. Jane, good. Good. Okay, but you're getting the idea, right, Amber? The concept.
Yes, I just realized that I thought it was all, I couldn't understand why it was feeling so sort of watery, and then I realized it was
Oh
because
yeah,
it
it's
was-
totally on the palette paper. Yeah, so it won't grip like it does here.
And then I was like, oh, I'll just keep mixing it. And then I'm like, oh, it's because I'm on palette paper.
I get it. I totally get it. I'm trying to think of a good solution to this. If you've got like heavy paper, sometimes that can work anyway, like Bristol paper or even watercolor paper, that can sometimes work, but also it really does help to do it on canvas because we'll be practicing. All right, so are people feeling ready to start this, to try this on our painting? Because our paintings are dry now. So I think we should be able to do it. Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to put this here. I know you can't see the source right now. Here, hold on. I'm going to change that. Source is going to go here. You can see the source. I'm going to put my palette here. I'm going to try to pull back just a little bit. I know you can't see everything. You can see enough. So I like to often start with the darkest part of the painting first. We'll start with the subject, right? So the darkest part of the subject first. So once your painting is dry, once this layer is dry, and I do, by the way, a lot of mixing with my brush. Okay, what that means is I have to clean my brush a lot in between and clean my water. So let me see if I can catch myself. So I'm going to start by mixing a base red, which is those two colors, cadmium red and a little bit of quin red. right? This is my base, meaning I'm going to add other things to it. And then I want to mix my dark. And I want a pretty dark area. So I added a fair amount of green here. And if I want to lighten this, I can add some of the base in, some more of the base in, right? So I want to have a little bit of this. I'll take my palette knife and clean it off. And now I want my paint to be pretty thick. So I'm going to clean my brush out with water. And then once again, I'm going to squeeze it. So I squeeze the extra water out of it so that when I come and I scoop up my paint kind of sits on the brush. And in fact, what I see is I need a lot more paint. So you see, here I go, and again, mixing with my brush. I mix with my brush a lot in acrylic painting because it dries so fast. So here we go. I've got a fair amount of this dark paint on here, and I'm going to come in here.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, I just lost the picture. I'm doing the one from yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I can send it over if you want to.
Oh, I found it.
Okay.
I found it.
Okay.
Good.
So the darkest part, which is here, I'm laying down. And then I'm going to add some red, some light red. Maybe I'm going to take some of my dark green mix into my red. And I'll lay that in. Oh, I definitely want a little bit more of a transition. Yep. And while this is still dark, I'm going to kind of pull down. This is where you start to see. So I have this transition. Do you see that? From dark, kind of moving up to light, but it's a little bit softer. So this is the shadow side. It's a darker shadow and a lighter shadow. I suppose I could do that in here. There's more green in this and yellow in this. So I can do a little bit. I can take a little bit of this in here too. And blend in a little bit of light down here, but there's less of that. There's more green. It's okay if my edge is a little bit raggedy right now. I can take later I can go in and take my background and clean it up. But really what we want is this transition.
That's the burgundy. That's the rich burgundy. It doesn't look that. Or is that
That's
the red?
down here. It's rich burgundy, and then here it's a burgundy with more of the light red in it.
Got it. Okay. So,
Right, because it's darkest here.
right.
And then it gets lighter as it goes up here. So the main thing is same here, dark down here, lighter as it comes up here. Let's see. Nice, Ab. Nice. That looks great, Addie. Great job. And then I'm going to take, oh, I can see I'm already up. So good. This slows me down. Let me load up more paint on my canvas. My palette paper. There we go. There we go. And then I'm going to clean out my brush. So I've got some of that shadow color off of it. And I'm going to mix just a little bit. I'm going to basically take this bright red, mix it with a little bit of Mix it with a little bit of this sort of darker, pinker red. And I might even take a little yellow into the red as well. I know this is going to make it a solid color. We'll get into the stripiness later. Then I can, oops, needs to be even lighter. Some more yellow. So see how I'm brushing in my lighter color here. And then once again, I'm going to brush in that light into the medium so that there's a shifting, but it's a subtle shifting. Up here, there's more yellow and maybe green with a touch of red. Kind of like this khaki color. So I took a little bit of green, some yellow, and then just a dot of red. Oh yeah, I need even more yellow. Notice I'm not using white. I'm lightening with yellow. And I'm also creating kind of a soft edge. It's not a hard edge where my green starts to transition into my red base down here. It's still kind of light. I can brush in a little bit of this kind of light green up in here too. Okay, so now I'm going to stop because I know I've just introduced a whole bunch of things. So let me stop, take some pictures, write some stuff down while you guys catch up. Okay, so this is yellow plus green plus red, just a touch. Small, a bit. Where's my camera? Here it is. So here's how this looks right now. And notice how rich these colors are looking already, even without a lot of detail. And then here's the mix for the top, sort of green, yellow. And notice that everything is these kind of soft edges. I do, you know, it's funny, I don't like, as a rule, I rarely like paint still lifes, but when I do, I find them really satisfying. There's something really pretty about the way, here, hold on, I want you guys to be able to see that. There's something kind of pretty about the way, and you'll notice we don't have all this, we don't have this stuff yet, we don't have the stripes. We don't have the dot, the sort of light reflective dot. We haven't gotten there yet. We have to lay our base down first before we get there. I find these shapes and colors really pleasing. Apparently so does Hermes. Did you see that, Diana? He jumped right into the light box when I was taking this photo today. It's like, I'm like, you little turkey. So if you're working on your own thing, this is a good moment to send it to me if you want me to take a look at it.
Okay, I'll send you where
Or send it to the class. Yeah, I figured a couple of things out, Diana, with that piece today. So if you want to if you want some help, I just finished it right before class.
I think I probably just need to work on it.
Yeah.
I sent it.
Let's see. Oh, yes. So the only thing I'd say, I feel like the red pepper in the front is done. I think you just need a little bit of detail in here, in the
In where?
yellow one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like in the dark, there's a little bit of a light dark thing happening here.
I don't see where you're pointing.
Oh, sorry, you don't see. Of course you don't, because here, hold on. If you look here, there's a little bit of dark and then a light spot. There's a couple of shadow
Yeah,
lines where
Yeah,
those,
shadow lines. Yeah.
I don't think you need to this. I think this is perfect. I don't think do anything to the red pepper. It looks great. So I'd say work just work a little bit of contrast into the yellow pepper and you may be
Okay.
done.
Okay.
I like how the plate looks. Ah, nice, Jean. What colors are you using? That looks like ultramarine blue or phthalo.
It's ultramarine blue mixed with a little bit of dioxazine purple.
It's lovely. And then are you mixing touches of yellow into it to give it a
Not
little?
yet. I'm going to do that next.
Oh my gosh. I wonder
trying
if
to
you
get
should
the-
just glaze everything like yellow ochre or something, and then go over with your blues and your lights. That might look really neat.
That might work.
Yeah, like a little yellow cast. You might try like a glaze on top. I mean, I'm just riffing here, so I could be wrong. I'm just thinking about what I would do, but I'm like, I like the contrast that you have right now. And it seems to me that if you took a yellow ochre glaze and glazed the whole thing, that would get your shadows to the sort of grayness that they need to be. And then you can go back over with your lights, and then you'll have some areas that are kind of yellow and some areas that are white.
Yeah.
Try it.
Okay.
I think that would be my bet. Let's see. Addie, great. So work on, Addie, mix the more yellow green so that this is a little bit lighter. And you can put that here. So this kind of lighter green, I'll tell you how to make it. And then you want to put that here as well, right? In that part. So this is, let me come over here and I'll show you. So this is, let's see, I took some, hold on, all my paint is dry. I've got to get more paint up here. Give me 1 second and I'll show you how to make this mix. Okay, so there's yellow. So Addie, this is yellow because it's mostly yellow. I took yellow first and I put it here, right? I'm mixing some yellow here. And then I took a little bit of green and I mixed not too much, just enough to kind of tint it green like that. And then I took a little bit of red, just a kind of little dot of red, not too much, like this. Oh, nope, too much red. So now I go in and add a little bit more green. So you see you have this kind of khaki green color, which is happening up here and here on this side of the apple. Got that? See, it's going to be kind of on the yellow side, more yellow than anything else, but beautifully done. I love your blending. It's great. Emma told me you were good. Ooh, Jane, really nice. So Jane, I'd say go ahead and also mix. I love it. Nice transitions, very beautiful. So go ahead and mix some of that khaki green that do you want me to show you how to do it again?
Nope, I caught it and I'm doing
Caught it. All right, do it. I think you're really going to like it, and brush that in over. And also you're going to do this soft kind of ragged edge here, right? So it kind of, so there's not this strong line between your red and your green. Very nice. Wasn't yellow enough and the red had dried. Right. So just the thing about, so Amber, you're all right. The thing about it is you just got to like keep getting it wet. So just create more red, put it in here, and then make some more. So you might add in more green here and more red here, and then you can blend. Nice, Emma. So get a little bit more green here. This is great. You guys are doing great. Emma, I would say I feel like this area here is a little, the the edges, I like this blended edge, but this one is too strong. It's too hard an edge. So you want to get more medium shadow paint in and kind of blend it a little bit more so that I don't see this line. So you don't want to see this line. See how you can see it gets darker, but I can't really see a strong line. That's the blended edge. So get in a little bit more. You want to get this, you want to mix some more shadow paint, some medium shadow paint and some dark shadow paint, and try and get that to be a little bit of a softer edge. Very nice. Look at how cool this already looks, how nice this looks next to the green. See how the green is really pushing the apple forward? Great work, you guys. So this green that I've just showed you how to mix, can you see that there are areas where you could add it? Like here, like down here. So you can take more of this green. And if you want to, now you can take a littler brush. Okay, now I've got a littler brush with some of that green, and I'm blending it in over the top. Here. That kind of green. And it might mean I have to get my red side wet again too, so I can blend that in. See how I'm kind of bringing the red in here and then cleaning off my brush, getting more of my green, and then blending that edge in. And you can bring it down. The green comes down fairly far into the light side. Down here, and if your green is too green, add more yellow to it as it comes here. So now you can use, like I said, a littler brush. If you want to use a pointed brush, you can. The key is everything is blended. Nothing is a sharp line. I'm doing a lot of tapping here. Nice. Notice a lot of the time I'm kind of using this bottom ragged edge to create a kind of a raggedy line. Up here, it's really bright. So I can actually just go to straight yellow if I want to try and add this line in. You could do this for a long time. I'm telling you, like you could like probably do this forever. I would advise not, it'll make you nuts, but there's a lot of back and forth you can do. Oh gosh, we have to do this part. Let me see, what colors is that? That looks like a cooler. Ooh, yeah, Jean, that looks really cool. Emma, that looks great.
Did you read my
Yeah.
caption?
Don't eat yellow snow. There you go, Diana. I don't know, Diana, you might be done.
Yeah.
I think it's gorgeous. You were telling me that mine was gorgeous. I looked at yours and went, oh my God, that's gorgeous. I love it. It's
Thank
delicious.
you.
I'd say sign it, send it off. You're done.
Okay. We're done. I've
Move on
finished
to
2 paintings today.
move
How
on
about
to
that?
Link. Yes, good job. Move on. Show us what you did and move on to Lincoln. If did you finish Lincoln?
No,
You're not doing Lincoln
but I
right now.
finished the doggy.
Oh, the doggy looks great. You want
Yeah.
to send that across to show people?
Sure.
And Janet, I know you're busily working on your your oil painting. So
Not tonight. I'm not working on it tonight.
what are you doing tonight?
I have a mugshot reveal deadline for Saturday, so I'm coloring in.
Oh, well, send us over when you've got it shot.
Yeah, I will.
Jana's looking good. God, it's really looking good, you guys. Diana did this doggy today. I love his little eyes. You'll see Diana does wonderful things with her lights. So a light dog is never just like white. There's a lot of blue, there's a lot of pink, there's a lot of yellow in that light area. And you'll see that. All right, and I'm gonna figure out how to mix this color. So it looks to me
I'm
like
gonna
it's,
get something to drink and change my dirty water.
yes. Oh yeah, that's also a good thing to maybe do. I'm gonna do the same thing. Before I figure out how to mix for this, I'm going to clean my water out and my brushes, and I'd recommend when you guys have a chance to do that too. All right. You guys keep working. I'm going to do the mix first, and then I'll talk to you about the decisions. Looks like a very light green. I might take a touch of green. Yellow. Let's see what happens if I add white. Close. Let's see. I like that color. All right. I think I have an idea for, move this over so we can see it. For this color, we're going to try a touch of green. There's a little bit of green in that light apple slice. So I'm pulling over just a little bit of green, some yellow to make it lighter, and then white. So white is a real cooling color. And then I'm adding a little bit of red in. Not too much. If you add too much, like I just did there, you're going to have to make your mix over again. Notice how easy it is to get too much of one color in. And if you do, yeah. So it's, let me lay it down. Hmm. It's not just white. It's got a tint of green, yellow, and red in it. Not too much yellow. Oh, I see what the problem is. Or I wonder, hang on here. I just want to try one more thing. Red. Yeah, you definitely need yellow in there. Yeah, so it's a touch of green, yellow, white, and then a little bit of red. You'll get this kind of funky khaki color.
Which red?
Try a cadmium red. But if you don't have it, try the other red. You can try the reds, and the different reds will tint it in different ways. So you might experiment. You'll see I'm actually laying this color down with a palette knife. I'm noticing it's getting a little, here, hold on. It looks a little bit brighter. No, that's not true. It actually is just the way it is. Let me get back to my brush here. You want more white than anything else. So it's just little bits of the other color. So it's kind of like a slightly tinted, kind of yellowy white that comes up like that. If you want to, you can try and streak a little bit of darker green, but I don't think it needs it all that much. You know, this kind of like this sort of thing of the slice there.
Too green. I put too much green in mine.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It's mostly white. So it's mostly white with just a touch of everything else in it. And you can do a slightly darker version for the top. So with a little bit more red. Like that. Yeah, dang it. So you guys will learn that like that Zoom kind of sucks for color.
Okay.
So I'm going to send a picture of this so you can see it. Coming along, Amber. I don't think this is a red delicious. I think it's a gallo
Macintosh.
or Macintosh. You're absolutely right. It's not the worst. What's your favorite type of apple? Pink Lady?
Golden
So
delicious.
my great grandpa used to breed apples.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. So my favorite type of apple doesn't exist in this country.
What is it?
It's called how would you translate it? Like a white pour. It's a very like
Oh.
sweet and sour sort of apple.
Oh, that sounds so good. What? So it's a Ukrainian apple?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like an orchard village apple.
So what happened? Did he just get? Is the orchard still in the family or?
The orchard is still around, but the grandpa's not, and he didn't teach anybody how to breed apples, so he really took the copyright with him.
No. So the orchard's there, but it's not commercially. Is it commercially like picked
no,
or?
No. This is just like a village with no plumbing sort of thing.
Right. Boy, I feel like the people who are the orchard people, right, who breed fruits are a special. I mean, you have to be really. It's like an art. It's like its own art form. It's a whole thing of like. I don't know. That sounds amazing. Yes, this is kind of a boring apple compared to that, for sure. So you haven't found anything in the States that compares to that type of apple?
No, it's not even close. It's a pitiful selection here, you know?
It is actually, I mean, it's the same in Sweden. You get so many kinds of apples.
That are special to the area. I
Yeah,
think that's kind of,
But I
I think-
guess it's also because we can't grow so much else, so much, many things.
well, if you are
Because
in
of
the
the
Pacific,
climate.
if you are in Portland, I mean, there are at any point 25 or 30 apple varieties in my grocery store. I mean, alone. We have a lot of apples here.
Yeah,
but-
I guess the climate is very close.
Yeah. See, Jane, you just got to get out here. Come visit. I'll take you on an apple tour. I'll take you.
Not
on
worth it to
something-
go to America for the apples, tell you that.
I'll take you on something they call the Fruit Loop. And at this point, you guys, good to get into your base. So I'm just laying ultramarine blue down on top of around the edge of my apples, on top of my green.
I just think it's the most Jane answer in the world. That the question was, "What's your favorite apple?" And she said, "You probably haven't heard about it."
Uh-huh. I love that. Jane's like, not denying it. So
Look.
you'll notice I'm adding some blue here on the bottom. There are sort of shadowy parts of this. If you want to get really detailed, which you don't need to for a painting like this, there are dark and light versions of the blue. So if you want to get some of the shadows, you can mix a little orange in with your blue to create kind of a darker shadow if you want to. You can mix orange by making red and yellow, but you might just at the moment lay in your blue. And then you guys have options for this top background. This is very boring. So I would say you can make this background color anything you want. And I'm looking at mine and thinking, well, I know what the obvious choice is. There is an obvious choice here, believe it or not. And it is the world's most typically pleasing color, teal. So I'm going to try teal around the background. And notice here is where I'm going to start cleaning up the edge of my apple. So notice I want a hard edge here. I don't want my teal going into my apple. So I am loading my brush with paint. I'm going right up to the edge of the apple and pulling back like that. Going in and back.
Why was
And-
teal the obvious answer?
Because if you do a search on the internet to find the most popular paintings in America, teal is one of the top 5 answers. Teal painting. Searches, it's teal. Also, teal makes everything look good. It just makes everything look good. That does not mean that, but look at how good this is looking. Can you see this? Look at how it's got, what's nice about teal, it has a little bit of green in it. So it's making my red apple kind of pop.
If I don't have a teal, what color, how would I make a teal?
Oh, that's a good question. It's kind of a
You can't.
greeny blue. It's a
You can't.
tough, it's really tough to try and do it. I just pick any other color. You can make it orange, you can make it yellow.
I make a teal from
Phthalo blue.
and either like a deep yellow with a little bit of yellow ochre in it.
There you go. You got it? Do you have those?
I don't have I've got ultramarine blue. So
It doesn't work with
it won't
ultramarine.
work with ultramarine. You need phthalo.
But
So
it might work with, what's the other dark blue?
there's no other blue, so
yeah,
Oh,
no other,
okay.
that's what she's got. So
Okay.
yeah, don't worry about that. You could make a light blue if you wanted to. You want your color, whatever you put here, to be lighter than what's here. But it could be any color in the world. You could mix a light green, light yellowy green. You could do a pink. You could do an orange. You can do whatever you want. I always do teal because I got to make a living. So I know if I put teal around this painting, it'll be pretty easy to sell. We're not done, by the way. We're just kind of at that point where you want to make your painting, you want to kind of add all the pieces together so we can see what's left to do. So that's our next step. I'd say experiment. If you don't like what the color that you pick, you can wait 10 minutes dry and cover it up with something else. I mean, I think a lot of different things would look good. I think a kind of pink would look really lovely. I think a light green would look really lovely. I think orange might look nice. Who knows? Like, let me send you a picture so you can see. And I still haven't finished the details of this apple, but I have got the basics down so that now I'm ready to work detail. By the way, BuzzFeed, you ask good questions. I like it. You all are good additions. And here is the painting at this point. So you can see my painting is up here, and then look what happened when I added in the background. Look at how much, boom, this painting started to come forward. Give me 1 second. Addie, how's it going over there? By the way, Jane, nice. By the way, Jane, really nice blending on that apple you find disgusting. Excellent. Send it in when you guys are ready. Actually, color quality seems a little bit better today. I think I've been doing more things with my lighting.
The lighting is important.
It really is. And it changes by the minute.
Yep. I'm good at pointing that out to others and not.
It's really hard.
And not practicing it myself.
So it's threatening. It's snowing here.
Oh.
I've heard we're going to get inches, but I will believe it when I see it.
I'm so glad not to live in a snowy place.
Snow's been really fun in New York this week. It's just like finally something new to look at on my
Right.
like walk.
Jessica, have you gotten out in it all to do any painting in it?
Well, I've been at work, so
Oh,
no.
right, Jang, that's right. You have to work.
That
Darn.
that little detail, you know.
I'm gonna go
Darn
out
work.
Saturday. I think I'm gonna actually like go outside Saturday. Go to
Excellent.
Central Park and see what I can find there.
All right. So. I need a better. I'll be right. How's it going, you guys? Send me something. Send me it if you're happy with it. Send me it if you're having trouble with it.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for suggestions on Lincoln.
Okay, let's see. Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, he was
Good.
like, okay. Let's see. Oh my God. Well, Lincoln's looking great. I'm just wondering if there's anything you want to do. I feel like he just needs, I wonder if he just needs like you've got this one hand. Are you planning on bringing that skin color into everything or?
No, I think the skin color has to go.
Yeah.
The skin
So
color has to
I
go.
think I'd say what's probably bothering you is the blue. I would do a glaze on top of the whole thing to unify a little bit, and then push your darks in blue a little bit more. So cover up that hand, which is, pink, and make it blue. But to strengthen it first, do a glaze. Maybe you should do a burnt sienna glaze over everything.
Yeah.
And that'll give you a subtle, if you did a burnt sienna glaze over everything and then pushed the blues, I think you'd be happier and feel like it looked more
Do you think
finished.
I should have a darker background like a?
No, I like the
purple
background.
blue?
Nope. The
Yeah.
background is great. So just you need to push the darks in the Lincoln forward.
Okay.
And there
All
needs to
right.
be a little bit. So try a glaze.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Addie, nice. Okay, so Addie, can you mix some of that? That looks really great. Can you mix some of that green color to get it in here even more? You want it to be lighter, so use more yellow. Ooh, Emma, nice. So once again, Emma, I'm having a little bit of this problem too. I love everything about this. The only issue I'm having here is your transitions are still too harsh, right?
Yeah, it
They're
looks
still
like
too
the
strong.
apple is transparent, and I
Yeah, yeah.
need
So
to-
now you need to go. So now what I would do is mix some more red,
Okay.
red, and then shadow red, right? So that
Yeah.
you can get both colors. Like, let's see. Like I would do this just quickly with my brush, like this. Here, I've got a bunch of teal on my brush, so I'm wiping it off. Hang on. So I would just go right in with like green and red, right? So you've got some here. Green and red. Get that in quickly. And then clean up your brush and get just red. Get yourself just some red here. Obviously, I've used up all my red mixing green, so I've got to quickly. So you just need to keep mixing and getting. So notice look at how thick the paint is that I've got, right?
Mhm.
So I'm really going in, getting some of the shadow. I'm putting in the shadow. And then I'm going in with the red and I'm coming over the top like this. So everything should be everything should be like thicker, and your paintbrush should be wet, but not so you have like these thicker layers on top. But I mean, I still like what's happening. I can see here, for example, that I've got that when I look at the picture, there's a little bit of red on the edge where the green is. So I'm adding that in. Yeah, you just want to keep practicing that blended edge. Blended edges aren't easy. So you want to, it's just going to be a thing you're going to keep practicing until you get it. But I like the construction. Let's see, who else?
Leah, did you see mine?
So I did not, Paul. Wait,
Okay.
I see, hold on, let me get back here. Ooh, all right. So Paul, you also want to blend your edges in a little bit more. And down here as well, you need more blending, right? See how that's a strong line? I shouldn't see that line. So
Okay.
to get rid of that line, you need to make a kind of medium color. It's looking good though. It's coming along. And Jane, you've lost, this is looking good, but now you've lost your green here. So you want to make sure you get the green into this part, right? Because right now, and it should be light, there should be a lot of yellow in that green, yellow and red in that green, so that it pops forward. See how mine comes forward from the red because it's definitely a green, but looking good on the blending. So Amber, you might actually end up liking oil more because Addie, that's coming. Because you need to, what you need to do is mix yourself a pile of green and red and then have red right next to it. So you can go in and grab green like this. So right now I have a little pile. You need a pile of green.
My
and
piles
red.
just go so quickly.
Yeah, well, just keep mixing more then, right? That's what that means. So you get your green in there, so you get that green red in there, and then I go right in with my red and I come right in on top like that. So I have a pile of both. But this is why some people like oil better, because oil takes 3 days to dry. So like, it's like really like for some people, it's hard to move fast enough, right? To figure out how to move fast enough. It can be nice. So get on in. So that's okay. And if you don't get it this time, don't worry about it. You're a new painter and this is a new thing. Let's see. Addie, I want this even lighter. Look at how light this is compared to what's happening back here. See that? See how light and green this, wait, here, sorry. Pointing at things you can't see. Look at how much lighter this is than this. And to really see that, I'll pull the, what happened to the black and white? Look at the black and white and you'll see it. See how much lighter this is than what's happening back here? So you want this to be really light green. So don't be shy to go back with like even more yellow. And then once you've got your basic in, then you can go in, you know, your basic kind of light to medium to dark. You can go in with a pointed brush and start adding in some of these details with your pointed brush like this. This is a slightly kind of grayer, greener. I think I'm going to mix green and red and yellow. This is kind of a darker color here on the top. So I've just done a different variation of green, red, and yellow to make it a little bit darker on the top. There's kind of a dark green and red here. This is kind of dark here. So this is like green and red. So see how now I'm starting to add in little bits of detail. I can see that when I look at this, this is kind of light all the way down against this dark. So I make sure I go in with, what is that? That's green, yellow, and red.
Wait, sorry, what are the colors that you just used for along the top there?
Just green, yellow, and red. So new variations of it. Just green, yellow, and red, just a slightly darker, sort of greener version. So it's just slightly darker on top. I can see that when I look at this edge, it pops out as darker, and that's because it's a little bit greener and lighter down here. So see how I'm bringing that down using my pointy brush right along the edge here.
I noticed you're not factoring in the shine there. Is that on purpose?
Oh yeah, we
or-
can do, well, you guys just haven't gotten there yet. Let me put that in though. Yes, I am not factoring in the shine because I just haven't gotten there. So let's do that now. That's a little bit of white with red and a touch of green. So a little bit of white and red. See that? There you go. Yes, let me get that in. Thanks, Paul. I needed to get that. They call that the blick. That's the Russian for it, word for it.
Blick.
Blick, the blick. It's like the little light spot.
Oh.
It's a great word. Normally I'm like, all things
In-
Russian.
Yeah.
Russia's-
In Swedish, blick is the gaze.
The gaze, like looking at someone?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. That's very pretty. Yeah. I actually took my finger. I put in some white and then I took my finger and blended it in here. And now since I'm here, I'm taking some yellow and adding in a few yellowy green streaks here. The gaze, I like that. Interestingly, I think that'll help. No, that's too strong. Go back. Yeah, Amber, it's the problem with acrylic that it dries really fast. The problem with oil is that it doesn't dry fast. Problems associated with both. Let's put it this way. But sometimes if you're kind of like, if you want to take a while to mix, it just is something, it can be kind of, you just got to get faster and keep practicing till you get faster at it.
Yeah, for me, I love that it dries fast.
Right, but you have many years. I know lots of years that you didn't do, but you've got a fair amount of experience under your belt. So for some people it works. For some people, they like that feeling of the acrylic and going fast. For other people,
Week, so I
what's
would say-
that? Yeah, you're doing all right for your second week.
Oh, no, I was going to say a lot of experience. A lot of experience.
Right. You're doing great, actually. For somebody who just started this, you're doing absolutely amazing. So don't judge yourself harshly. It's
What did you do to create the division along because my slice and my apple are blending together.
yeah, I was just been playing with that. I've been doing a couple of things. Let me show you what I started doing. So one of the things I noticed is that in the source, this light green comes all the way down here.
Mm-hmm.
So I went right along the edge with light green. That helped. See how that's starting to pop?
Yeah.
And I try to make that a harder edge, right? So unlike the blended edge, which is here in the apple, this is a hard edge, a hard stop between the green and the red. So that's part of it. But in other parts, you'll see there's little bits of red. If you really look into the detail of this edge, where this edge meets that back, there's some parts where there's kind of red green. So I was just playing with those.
Okay. And the light green is yellow and
Green and red.
green and red.
Yeah. You'll notice almost all your greens have red in them, right?
My paints got stolen for a second time.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So I'm like running low on everything. Oh,
Oh.
one of the paints dried because it didn't. I ordered the green separately, and that's the only one that. dried.
Oh, God. Do you live in an apartment?
I live in a brownstone, so the packages
Right.
are just like, dropped
Or
right
just
on
dropped
the
on the front? That's
And I've actually watched people following the trucks, and
Yeah.
as soon as they put up the package there, I've watched them run up and take it and run away.
son of a
Yeah.
people.
You need a camera. On
You
your
need a
porch.
I know.
gun.
I put a sign outside that said you're on camera, but clearly nobody's buying it.
Right. You need a BB gun.
No.
A BB gun doesn't really, it just hurts. It doesn't like kill somebody.
She needs those sandbag guns at the.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Actually, you just need a Emma, all you need is a sandbag. Just drop it. Oops. Sorry.
I mean, I just hope that they're like crafting, you know.
Emma, beautiful, lovely. Okay, Addie, that's starting to come together now. So I think you need to make, the next thing I would do, Addie, is make this part wider. So you can go in with like kind of a light white pink on top of this so that this looks light next to this color. So now this value is good, but this value is too close. So go ahead and you can lighten this by going on. Do you see what I'm saying? How light this is between here and here? Nice work. It's beautiful. Emma, I like it. I think it's pretty neat. I like it. I'm enjoying these. I think these are beautiful. I'm actually always amazed at what people can do. Hey, Amber, I had a suggestion about your background. Are you ready to hear it?
Like, is there a problem?
I think it's looking it's kind of flattening your it's not really I think your apple is better than you think it is, but the background is flattening it. It's too much the same color scheme as what's happening here. So my suggestion is to take ultramarine blue and white and do a pale blue over that. So just go right over the top. Try that. I think you're gonna like how that looks, and you'll see the difference. Right? Like you'll see the background is like hugely important in paintings. It's funny. We think of it as background, like who's even looking at it? You guys, these are so great. Paul, much better. Paul, that's coming. It's coming. Yes, 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 yes. So clean up the edges around here.
I was just about to do that.
Yep,
Yeah.
great work. Great work, my friend. And look at how dramatic those colors are. Addie, you're doing awesome. You don't do too good, Addie. You'll make the grown-ups feel insecure. Come on, 11-year-old. Try not to be too much of a genius. She's giggling over there. So let me tell you what we're thinking about doing, you guys, for the next 8 weeks in painting acrylic. I have subjects. I'm planning ahead. I'll lay this, let me find it for you. I have it written down here somewhere. Desktop. Where did I put it? Okay. So I was thinking that we'll do still life for 2 weeks. So next week we're going to practice doing like a cup or a vase or something like that. And then we're going to do animals for 4 weeks. And then cities for 2 weeks. So city stuff, like maybe a car, like maybe a cat, like maybe a building. We're going to do a couple of like, or man-made things. And maybe we'll just do a barn, but we'll do some kind of structures, like man-made structures. And then we're going to do watercolor for 2 months. So, and watercolor, I promise, is cheaper and like will not set you back as much. And so I will send out I'm going to send out a watercolor list for you shortly, very shortly. So that's the plan. For anybody interested in taking the beginning drawing or the pastel landscape class with Marie, I can tell you we have that figured out as well.
Yeah, I am sort of.
Okay, awesome. So let's see. So we are, did I really put it down again here? So, wait. So Maria's going to she has different subjects each month. So she's going to do snow scenes in February. She's going to do sunsets and sunrises in March. She's going to do sort of marshes and streams and water things in April, waves in May, beaches in June, mountain scenes in July, sort of structures in fields like hay bales, a fence, a farmhouse in August. She's going to do rocky landscapes in September, autumn colors in October, skies in November, and then students get to pick what they get to do in December. So I think that's going to be so you'll spend 4 weeks doing similar subjects in that class just to get used to. And there the thing doesn't change. I may end up keeping one class in acrylic just to keep people, if people aren't interested in watercolor. So we may do that as well. So as we get closer to the time of switching over, I'm not going to make everybody do watercolor if they don't want to. So maybe one of these classes each week will be watercolor and another one will be acrylic.
Does this mean I got to take back my Benton, my 20? Well, I got a stain on it. But
Your what?
I got this giant ultramarine blue oil thing here.
We can, yeah, well, we'll talk about it. There's maybe one class. Yeah, maybe we won't do oil. Maybe we'll stick with acrylic.
Michael's is like, I had a 20% coupon, but Michael's has like buy one, get one 50% off.
Yeah.
And so they won't honor the coupon, which is like, you'll save more money with the coupon.
But...
Yeah,
I'll figure out a way.
Michael sucks.
Michael's kind of sucks.
They're horrible.
I will figure out how to work oil painting into a later in the year. Maybe from June until December, we're going to be mostly doing drawing classes. So I'll try to keep one. Maybe I'll introduce an oil painting class then for people who want it. Okay. And also, can we utilize neon or metallic, because Joanne's has those on sale for no. Wrong teacher for that. I'm such a traditionalist. So boring.
Oh my God, you need like all the metallics.
I know. And
Daniel Smith makes an amazing line of iridescent and shiny oils. Yes,
I cannot get excited about shiny things. I know you do great stuff with them, Jessica, but me, I'm like, bleh. Oh, by the way, we're kind of close to the end of time, but we're going to go a little bit longer because I want everybody to get to a place where they're feeling good about their painting. And great work today, by the way, guys. You all really pulled it together. And Amber, am I not right? Is that light blue helping?
I think.
Okay, take a picture.
I keep adding things to the apple and then realizing I've like mucked it up, and so then I redo it, and some, I'm in that circle.
Let's see it. Whenever you're ready. Isn't it amazing that 2 hours has gone by like, phew,
Yeah.
like nothing? Oh,
I think-
Jane, that's looking great. Nice
But that was
work.
good advice. I'm gonna work
Addie, that looks
more on
great.
the darks.
Yeah, work on the darks.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be happier once you've got the darks, because I think the darks right now, your background is competing with
Yeah.
like and so you just need some strong planes.
Yeah.
Great job, Jane. Great job, Addie. Great job, Paul. Wow.
Sorry, can
Take
you
a picture.
remind me? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you remind me what the color mix was for the core of the apple, like before you added in the green on the top?
This, you mean this part here?
No, the top part.
Oh, here?
No, like in the bite mark.
Oh,
or, like-
there, that part.
Yeah.
That was just red, green, and yellow, and a touch of just red, green, and yellow.
Right. And
Yeah.
white.
Yep,
Yeah.
and a touch of white. Amber, nice. See how much your apple is popping forward, Amber, now that we've changed. Yeah, it's a better color than the pink, right? Because like it's now it's kind of showcasing and pushing, because your apple is almost orange, right? All of our apples are sort of orange, so the blue also pushes things forward. Ah, Jean, that's nice. I really think that yellow was a good. So the yellow now is the yellow in some of the areas where you've left it is playing with your purple
Yeah.
in a really.
I
This
think
is
I took it
wonderful.
wrong.
I still don't like my big purple shadow on the left.
It's kind of floating there. So I think you just need to work the edge a little bit.
Yeah.
So look at what's happening on the edge. Maybe brush in a little bit more snow
Okay.
on the right, on the left edge, and on the right. Maybe make it slightly lighter on the left side, the light, so basically when an edge is popping out that way, it just means I need to get a little bit more detailed where the dark meets the light. But this is looking great. I love your sky. I love your peaks back here. I feel like these are really like, nice.
And can you tell it's fog coming over?
Oh.
That's why the edge of the top near the peak is blurry.
Yes, yes, you nailed it. You got it. You absolutely made that happen. Yes, you have done that with brushwork. Bravo. Diana, that's good. Yes, this is more done than you think. Paul,
gonna
that's
work
a
more on the
wonderful, Paul, that's a great apple. I love it. Don't touch it anymore. I think it's done.
Okay. Oh, great.
I think it's
I'm
done.
not, even though you think the shine is okay, or?
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
It's like blocky. I feel like all your mark making. Diana, look at Paul's mark making on this.
Okay.
And notice it's very like strong. It's not as smooth as mine, but there's something.
No, it's nice.
It really works. So that dark, and
The apple
Amber,
has a little bit of Cezanne over it.
yes, that's exactly right.
I'm sorry?
A little Cezanne.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it's got a very kind of choppy, like abstracted format, but it's still very clear what it is. Amber, that looks great. I love it. Great work, you guys. So notice, I'm probably going to do a post, by the way, and Addie, great work. Hi, Addie's mom. Oh, hold on here. I'm going to remove the spotlight and put us all in gallery view so we can look at each other. Let's take a look. Yeah, send it in. Notice how different everybody's pieces look, right? I don't want you in the end to paint like me. I want you to paint like you. And all I'm really doing is trying to give you technique on mixing, shaping, right? Using your brush. I absolutely adore that all these look like apples and every single one of them looks different. So I hope you don't mind if I use them in a little post on Instagram, because I think I have something called the Roaming Studio. And I love this. I love this exercise. I think you all just took it and ran with it. And it's amazing. You guys did good. You feeling pleased? I'm pleased. Great work. And also, I want you to feel encouraged to continue. So if any of you feel like, oh my God, now I want to try something a little bit more complicated, go to the channel and practice this one, which we did last night. So this has been posted. Addie, I'll give you
Yeah, that
information
one, yeah.
about where you can find it. Where you can find videos of classes. That'll be it's different for you than for these guys because they're in a different program, but I'll send you the link. You all have the link to the YouTube channel to find this lesson. So if you're feeling excited, I want you to keep working during the week and keep posting on this WhatsApp thread what you're doing. That's great. Let's see. Ignore the water drop. Emma, great. Addie, great. Great, great, great. You could change the background. Change the background. Do whatever. Make it greener. If you make it greener, Jane, I think you'll like it better.
It feels flat.
Yeah, I try making it greener. So take like a soft, like maybe green and yellow, and blend that over the top, letting some of the blue come through. And I think you might like that better. I agree. But I love your apple. It's so freaking, it's totally working it. So I'll wait a little while until you do that, Jane, and send it across so I can see how it looks. I won't post your blue one until you're happy with it. Is everybody happy? Happy with what you've done? Hold your work up. Let's take a look. Not bad.
Yes, this is the one I finished today.
Oh, great work, everybody. These are freaking awesome. These are great. Janet, what are you working on? Hold it up.
I'm working on my mugshot reveal.
That's totally awesome.
Oh, wow.
Send us a picture, please.
No,
These are,
Hold it up one more time. I put you in a big,
honestly,
hold it up one more time.
hold it up, Janet. Hold it up. You guys, these are
I love
amazing.
it.
Instagram on Saturday, and you can see it.
Excellent. Those are cool. That's really cool. Janet, when you're working on it, can you send us a picture, please? That looks really great. Janet
Yeah.
has a art group that she works with, and they give themselves assignments, and that's one of them.
Want
Amazing.
to see my lady? Here's my lady.
Oh, great.
Oh,
I
nice.
love her.
I named
These
her
are
Es-
all mugshots from real people that one of
Real
Janet's
mugshots.
friends,
I
one of
named
Janet's art colleagues got.
I named her Esmeralda.
Yeah. Okay.
Jean, that's looking awesome. See, already looking better. You
Yeah.
blend it out a little bit. Yep, absolutely. Great work. So guys, amazing work today. And I love it that each one of these looks different. Oh, I'm so glad. Addie, I'm so happy that you're joining the fold. You're joining the tradition. So in 5 years, I expect to be hiring you to be my next teacher, all right? You've got 5 years to get ready for it, kid. Ooh, nice, 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 nice. Amber, this actually turned out really good. I'm really pleased. I think it looks great. I love it. Great work, everybody. We will see you. Remember, there's a class tomorrow at 8 a.m. West Coast time, 11 a.m. East Coast time. We're going to do a similar study. We're going to do one with a yellow apple. So if you want to try this again, but with green, you're welcome to jump in. On Saturday for beginning drawing, we're going to be working on evergreen trees. And on Sunday, we're going to be doing a snowy landscape. So Addie, I'll make sure your mom has the schedule of all the classes so you can see what you can use your pass for anything. Amazing work today, you guys. It's inspiring. I'm proud of you. And the video will be up on the YouTube channel, and Addie for the channel, about to send you in about an hour. So take a look for it if you want to try this again. And I'll see you guys later. We'll see you.
Tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow morning, Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Bye,
be in
guys.
tomorrow
Bye.
morning too.
Yeah, please feel free to come to as many classes as you want. Join as many as you want. Peace.
Okay. Take care.